We are coming to this week with hopefully an offer. It seems like the candidate is kind of ghosting. She sounded excited, but not that excited. So let's talk about negotiations. Happy Tuesday and welcome to yet again another Week in a Life video where I show you what I do every single day, doing my best as a recruiter in the technology industry. It's Tuesday. This week is going really well so far. We are almost nearing the end of April, well into Q2. We had about 4 interviews yesterday, have 3 interviews today, hopping on a Zoom call in about an hour with hopefully a brand new Web3, VR, AR client hiring software engineers. We're just really excited. The week is going off really well. And if you're having a great Q2, you're having a great April, you're looking forward to the rest of Q2, making sure May, it goes really smoothly, and you're hitting all your goals, please consider subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot. Definitely gives us the energy and focus to do our best. Been having a really good day. My whole day so far on Tuesday, the first half or 3/4 of it have really been focused on outreach, proactive sourcing, on creative and motion and product designers as we are working with companies that are looking to hire pretty aggressively. Got a lot of people responding already, which is amazing, and setting up calls later this week and into next week. Aside from that, just have a few more emails. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, focus a little bit more on software engineers, make sure the pipelines for all of our clients are still rock solid, and then gonna get ready for this client call. And I honestly hope it goes well. It's always great to pick up new business and new clients, making sure that we have a really good relationship, ongoing new relationships with new companies, and creating that extra pipeline. And so that if we do find a really good engineer, we can always present them with another, hopefully epic opportunity. So another exciting thing to mention is that we are coming to this week with hopefully an offer. This is for an operations manager at a real estate company here locally in DC. This company was actually referred to me by one of you, someone who has watched our channel for quite a while, and he runs his own business out of the West Coast, and he came across a client who's like, you know what, we need help looking for new talent. He referred his client to me. So if this happens, we're more than happy to share a referral fee to him. And this is just another small way that we love to kind of partner and collaborate with you all. So if you are a recruiter, if you're looking to go into recruiting, you think you have access or you have a network of amazing candidates or companies looking to hire, please reach out to me. Always open to kind of find out new ways that we can partner and collaborate with each other behind the scenes. I think, again, as you always hear me say, recruiting is competitive as is. If we can focus a little bit more on collaborating and helping each other, then I think more people can find jobs that they're excited about. More companies can find rock stars and A-level candidate that they're excited about. And it's a win-win for everyone. Everyone just walks away more and more happy. So it doesn't matter if you're in tech, if you're recruiting in other industries, you have hard to fill roles with clients, you have candidates that you want to be able to maybe present other opportunities, definitely give me a ping, either down here in the comments below at our free Discord, also at the comments below, or feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, always happy. But this just another goes to show that this is now, we have a couple people that we've done already deals with. They've already made a huge significant placement fee with, and this person was kind of to introduce us to new business. So we're, again, more than happy to split and share that fee with them. My heart is to just help as many people as possible, and if there are ways to partner and collaborate with you all, more than happy to do that. But this particular role, she was our first candidate we sourced, the first candidate responded. She checked off every single box that a client wanted. We submitted her. She went through every single stage, talked to the founder, talked to the founder number 2, and then talked to another member of the team. She did really well. And I think they reached out to her late last Friday night saying that they want to move forward to references. And I think that should have finished late yesterday, if not first thing this morning. So hopefully if that goes well, we can move forward to an offer. This will be a relatively smooth and quick potential commission, which could be great. A great way to maintain momentum as we kind of come into ending April. Let's see what happens. All right, just got off the phone with a brand new client. They are a cloud-based solutions for AR, VR, 3D companies. They raised a little over $5 million. They have a team of 10, a little over 5 engineers. They're about to hyper growth, really riding that wave of Web 3.0 and the metaverse that everyone is talking about in tech. So just had a call with their CTO, really cool guy. They are using multiple agencies, but we were able to lock in an initial contingency agreement with them. And if that goes well, we can always explore exclusivity, retainers. It really depends on really how the relationship goes, making sure that I develop a strong relationship with the CTO, making sure most importantly that we can provide results. And once you can do that consistently over time, then the company will be a lot more willing and happy to discuss other solutions with you. So going to be sending them an agreement soon, lock them at 20%, which is pretty decent as they're considering hiring about 4 to 6 engineers. So if we can get some of those, I think that would definitely be amazing and a great new client to work with. So going to be sending that over to them. I got 2 more calls, going to be shooting a video later today. But so far the week's going really well. Just actually heard back from my real estate client. The founder just came back today to the office after traveling, and he did confirm that he's moving forward to an offer. And then he wants to jump on a call with me in about 10-15 minutes, most likely about the terms, the best ways to extend this with my candidate, because that's really important, whether I extend it for them, whether they extend it. I don't want to step on their toes, vice versa. Making sure that we both have the same narrative with the candidates so that we can, of course, maximize the chance of a successful close happening. I'm going to be focused again on just engineers for the next couple hours, as it's already about 4:30, and looking forward to hopefully get this offer out and finish the day off strong. So far, really good day, good sourcing, picked up new clients, new business. Let's keep going. Okay. So just got off the phone with my client, and he's indeed moving forward to extending an offer. And I jumped on the phone with him, and really the purpose is to really guide him on how to do that exactly. Some companies prefer to extend directly, others want me to do it. I'm happy either way, and whichever way I want to just adapt and make sure that I don't step on their toes. But my candidate ideally wanted 90 to 100. They're coming out with 90 with a 5K bonus, so all in they're at 95, which is awesome. Great beginning. Hopefully that's good enough to do the job. And then I just recommended that he should reach out to her. They should find a time today to verbally extend. That's always better than email, because it gives a candidate another chance to kind of talk directly with someone on the team. And if that goes well, then basically, it gives the company another opportunity to ask questions, and for the hiring manager of the company to use it as another opportunity to sell the whole picture, her future, and try to close her, right? And then depending on what happens there, if she accepts on the spot, that's obviously the best case scenario. If she needs time to mull it over, I will try to connect with her later today or first thing tomorrow, just to see how she's doing, if we need to negotiate, if she has any other outstanding questions that are not on our radar right now. And then she can schedule another plan B follow-up call with the founder or hiring manager tomorrow, so that after she has time and after her emotions calm down a little bit, she's able to process things a little bit more, then she can really use that as an opportunity to kind of have whatever is blocking her to make a decision and get that and be honest with the company and with the hiring manager, in this case, the founder of the team, tomorrow. So I think everything's going well. Last I spoke with the candidate, she is eagerly waiting. She's not actively interviewing with any other companies, which is amazing, which is the whole reason why it's so important for my client to move fast. So I'm just really happy that they're respecting her ideal salary band. It is a little bit more initially than what they were planning, but this just goes to show, if you want good talent and you can recognize good talent in this market, you will do whatever it takes, because at the end of the day, it's an investment in your team, it's an investment in your company, and it's always worth it. So we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed. Should be really exciting. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's get this done. Happy Wednesday. I was able to sync up with my candidate after syncing up with the client yesterday, who wants to move forward to an offer. Now the offer came out. When we initially spoke with her, she was looking for 90 to 100. They came out with a starting salary of 90 plus a 5K sign-on bonus, which brings her 95. And then so I synced up with her just earlier, communicated that with her, and she sounded excited, but not that excited, surprisingly. And then I tried to kind of get to the bottom of it, asking more pointed questions, and it seems like she really wants to have that cash closer to 100, excluding the bonus. Even though they do offer a 5K annual bonus, in her mind, she doesn't look at that as guaranteed as a salary. So in her mind, she's kind of really looking at guaranteed cash still to be 90, which is still like on the lower end of her range. And aside from that, she also kind of shared that she had concerns about the 401k policy, their calendar policy, their PTOs. How does that work? Seems like she has still a bunch of questions that need to be answered. So she's going to sync up back with my client. Hopefully that goes well later today. But in the meantime, I will go back to my client as well to see if we can kind of get them as high as possible. If they can, I think, come out with a 95 salary or even 100, I think now there's a really, really strong chance of her accepting and shutting this down. She still does not have any other interviews going on right now. And my client knows that, and they don't want to play games with the salary. They just want to come out strong as much as possible. And I honestly thought that 90 plus a 5K bonus would have got the job done. But after speaking with my candidate, she's really excited, she's flattered, but she just wants like that extra salary bump just to kind of make her feel that she's making the right decision and that, you know, she can really kind of switch gears and kind of navigate her career. So we'll see what happens here. I think there's still wiggle room that my client can do. I'm going to hop on the phone with them later today, see what we can do. But I was just hoping that my candidate would be a little bit more positive at this point. She was a lot more positive before when I spoke with her, but hopefully there aren't any underlying red flags for me to kind of discover or find out in a surprising way down the line. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. You know, just got to adapt with new information, do the best that we can, and try to get both the two sides close to each other and hoping to kind of create a happy situation for everyone. So let's see what happens. Happy Friday. Made it to the end of the week again, and hope all of you who've been watching this really made an effort to finish the week off strong. As you know, I love to make it last push of effort and focus before the weekend, because then you can truly enjoy the weekend. And not to mention, for all of the other professionals in your industry that are starting to slow down and slack off, we're still keeping it real and trying to get every single edge that we can to make sure we get into the following week with great momentum. But a couple things happened late Thursday night. Got an email that my fintech company wants to possibly move forward to an offer with the software engineer, but they're having a tough time getting a hold of the engineer. He went through the whole process. They reached out to them multiple times. It seems like the candidate is kind of ghosting. And this is something that we've seen with candidates that are just starting out process, through the process, or even afterwards, they just disappear. And I think largely it comes from the fact that like they just have so many of the interviews, possibly more interesting interviews that are happening, that they just don't have time to like allocate resources to continue processes that don't really excite them that much. But either way, whatever the reason or excuse, you don't want to ghost companies. Like that's just going to blow things back. Typically not in the most positive way towards you, especially in the tech industry. And especially like if you're only looking for local San Fran or Austin or like New York State jobs, like a lot of the founders and a lot of the hiring managers, they intermingle, they network, they collaborate with each other. And so you don't want to go through the whole process, ghost, and then the founder is like getting all mad and he complains to another founder, and that hurts your chance with your career moving forward. But I'm hoping that it's kind of an honest reason here. Maybe he's traveling, maybe he's not feeling well. I'm going to try to ping him to see if we can get a hold of him and see what happens. But that's obviously really, really good news. We just got back from a brand new kind of AR, VR client that we spoke with earlier this week, that they want to make amendments to our engagement agreement, which is totally typical, happens all the time. They sent it to their legal partners, they sent it back with all these bold, underlined and red words that we're just gonna have to go through. And then if it makes sense, you can make the amended changes, send it back to them. And if they sign, then we can kind of get started ASAP. So I'm expecting to kind of actively work that next week. It's full stack, backend, Java, Python, C++, C# engineers, hiring 5 of them. We've agreed on a 20% commission, so it could be well worth our time to make it happen. And yeah, aside from that, I think we had one product manager interview yesterday that went really, really well. Spent most of this morning really focused on engineering. As you know, we're just picking up more and more engineering clients. Just want to make sure that we do our best to fill the pipelines with every single client that we're working with, so that we can, of course, maintain really good relationships and just keep that productive and keep it consistent so that we can push forward and hopefully pop some offers, hopefully sometime soon. Aside from that, got about 5 more calls today. We have 2 more interviews happening today. And yeah, it's just been a great, great week despite it being slow. So this video might be a little bit on the shorter side. Hope you like the new format, but I expect coming to next week, everyone's gonna come back to work. A lot more things to highlight, a lot more exciting, new and different and unique situations to talk about. But as of right now, really happy to come into Friday with a brand new deal, brand new offer. And now just gonna be laser focused in getting this day done. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, just got the phone with my candidate. It was a very positive phone call, and she told me that she connected late yesterday with my client, negotiated directly with him. They offered her 90 plus 5K bonus. She really wanted $100 all in cash, and she got them up to 95 with the 5K, bringing her all around, all in cash comp to be 100K, and she's ecstatic. The concerns that she also had about vacation days, PTO, sick days, on paper, it looked quite concerning and old school, but when I talked to my client and when she talked to my client and just went over everything, he was able to really clearly communicate to her that they just have a very lenient, flexible policy. As long as you perform well, like sick days, no problem. If you're not feeling unwell, you need to go to the emergency, like no problem. You can take really theoretically as many days off as long as you're doing a good job. And I think that is exactly what you want to hear. So in this final negotiation process, everything happened perfectly. Negotiations, salary came up, they cleared and countered every single objection that she had, and now she has no other questions but to feel really, really happy. So she's about to officially give notice with her hiring manager later today, and then sign the offer letter and send it back and CC me. So again, if you've been following for a long time, like this is amazing news. We're getting so close, one step closer to the finish line, but it's not over until it's signed, but it's not over until she actually successfully gives notice. Hopefully there's no counteroffer drama, and then she actually starts and stays for a good amount of time. So hoping that everything else goes well, but I'm happy that this thing was moving forward. I did have my doubts a little bit earlier, but I'm glad that I synced up with her, and everything looks and sounds good so far, and we'll keep you updated until when the offer letter gets signed. One of my biggest suggestions, if you're starting out as a recruiter or you're working for yourself already, either as a solo recruiter, independent recruiter, or you own your own team and you feel like you've been struggling or you've been plateaued, my suggestion is just break the whole business, break your day-to-day activities and your week-to-week activities to the basics. At its core, when you are an independent recruiter, when you run your own agency, we have to deal with two types of main groups of people. You got the clients, you got the companies on one side, and you got the candidates on the other side. In the beginning, there's no point to reaching out to the candidates if you don't have any open jobs to fill them with. So naturally, you need to focus on clients. And if you feel like, you have a great client right now, but they're difficult, they're a tough client, why are you sinking and wasting all of your time on that client? That's giving your client so much power over you, and you're dictating your entire lifestyle and income to that one client alone, even though the income potential can be significant. So what is stopping you from reaching out to more clients? Or in the beginning, what is stopping you from even getting started to reaching out to clients? Maybe you have this old fear that you're just afraid of cold calling, you're afraid of cold emailing, and that in your mind, it just festers and it becomes so much bigger than it actually is. It just feels like a monumental challenge that you almost have analysis paralysis just even thinking about it. You start getting beads of sweat rolling down your face. You start getting hot flashes, and then ultimately it just results in you not doing anything. My challenge to you is just take a step back, take a deep breath, and just try to look at it as it is. If the only thing that's stopping you from getting new clients, or the only thing that's stopping you from making 6 figures a year, making 6 figures a month, and just trying to make sure you have a consistent business, if all that's really blocking you from accomplishing that is doing more cold emails, doing more cold calls, then just try to frame it as that. Instead of making it so much bigger than it actually is, just frame it as just you have a fear of cold calls. But then break it down further. Like, what does it mean to cold call? You need to find your contacts, you need to find the numbers, you need to have like a good sort of script, and then you just go. So the only thing that's holding you back is just going. And if you can understand that, then you can really be able to tear off all the layers that your mind is creating to make this a lot more of a bigger problem than it actually is. And then you can just understand, okay, so for me to hit my goals, break it down to the smaller action items. And if all that means is sending more emails, assuming I have a good outreach template on my emails or a good script when I'm calling in, and then it's just doing the numbers consistently, then if I can do that consistently over time, then you can produce significant results. As I hoped to show you, if you've been watching for quite some time, every single week is no different from what I've done the previous week, what I've done the previous month, what I've done the previous year, all the ways starting to when I first started recruiting for myself. I narrow and I'm laser focused in terms of myself and what I have to do every single day on all the basics. And then I just promise myself to just put my head down, focus and stick to it as much as possible without letting emotions come in and without letting it build up and fester into like a big beast in your brain, which ultimately prevents you from actually taking action. So have this big obstacle, have this whatever is bothering you, try to break it down into smaller and smaller bits and try to break those down into it becoming a single action where it does not become overwhelming, it doesn't become scary. And then if you can just focus on that single item and just tell yourself, all I have to do to be successful, to hit whatever goals I have, is to just hit this over and over and over and over again, be consistent and not stop and not give up. I promise you, your results are gonna completely compound and snowball to a level you would never have imagined. That's exactly what's happening with me this year. That's exactly what I showed you transparently last year. And all I'm just trying to show is that if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not doing anything amazing or magical. We're not using any proprietary algorithms or tools. It honestly just takes understanding really well, what do you have to do day in and day out? If it means I need to reach out to candidates, what does that mean? If it means reaching out to more clients, what does that mean? If you have to do a little bit of both, what are the most basic action items for each group that you have to achieve? And just focus on that and do a lot of it, do it consistently over time and don't stop. And if you can do that, you can hit all of your goals. And I think that this is something that not only will be helpful in helping you find success as a recruiter, but you can carry this to any other forms or activities or ventures in your life. Honestly, like what a lot of people do who find a certain level of success, when you look at it, when you analyze and you break everything down, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. We show up when the weather is bad. When we're not feeling well, we still show up. When it feels like our business or the world's going upside down, we still show up. We don't make excuses. We just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it just creates that discipline, just creates that cycle. And then you can just continue to produce consistent results over time. So again, I, by all means, never mentioned that I think I'm the greatest recruiter alive. I still have so many ways for myself to improve, so many ways to optimize my system. But the one thing that I can hold myself to is I can just show up every single day knowing I know exactly what to do, all the basic steps to follow, and I just do it week in, week out, day in, day out, and then rinse and repeat. And then you can, of course, accomplish anything that you imagine. So dream big, whatever goals you have, make sure you dream even bigger. And then just to make sure though, like you have a clear roadmap, break everything down, break every stage down to a small, concise, clear plan and just follow it and rinse and repeat. Hope that helps. Everything this week, I think for some reason just feels slow. Oh, I know why, because it's a holidays. A lot of like religious and global holidays are happening this entire week. So when that happens, naturally interviews get scheduled a lot slower. We get slow response times and follow-ups and everything. But it's during this time where it's actually really, really important to stay consistent, because as the world and many people take vacations, a lot of people aren't working. And for those that are working, it's a really great opportunity and just a small, easy way to kind of get ahead and just, whatever outstanding, whatever new projects, whatever new goals you need to do, to stay consistent as much as possible. So that, when everyone else comes back, when your competitors come back to work, you can kind of reach out to the extra client, you can reach out to the extra candidate and stand out a little bit. So that's exactly kind of what I want to do. And we just always want to make sure, that I want to continue to finish this week strong. But because it's a holiday week, I still want to make sure that even though it feels like business is slowing down, everyone's just traveling or just not working this week. So I just still want to make sure I can still put in that repetitive consistency so that, it will set ourselves up for success. We will start getting responses ended this week into next week, making sure that we have next week's calendar packed with good calls, good interviews, and hopefully offers. So that's the beauty about recruiting, is you have the opportunity to really create something out of nothing, to really choose your own fate or to choose your own schedule for that week and for that day. You can choose to work 20 hours a day if you want to. You can choose not to work any day. I think that's the beauty of being a recruiter, specifically an independent recruiter or a solo recruiter. I think recruiter, compared to many other professions out there, really gives you that flexibility to really work, make the income that you want at a lifestyle that you want. Whether you're working for yourself or a small team, you have a choice, like I do right now, to either take the week off or to keep consistent so that when people start getting back to the work and getting back to the office, I'm one of the first people they'll respond to. And that's helped countless of times throughout throughout my career. It's something that I still love to kind of stay true to and take it very, very seriously. And it's always been great in terms of generating new results and in recruiting wise, generating new relationships both on the candidate and client side. So I definitely recommend that, when things slow down, you go the other way. You continue with that momentum, with that work ethic, because the more work that you can put in consistently, recruiting will reward you over time, and that result will just only compound. And that's something that I look forward to a lot. So we got 4 more candidates to talk to. It's been a good day so far. I've been actively sourcing engineers and product designers. Got a lot of calls tomorrow as well. So far it's been a good day, good week. Fingers crossed. One thing I love about working for yourself as a recruiter is that there's always something that you can do in your business. And even though I demonstrated that this week, it's typically a very slow week, there's so many things that you can do. You can first of all choose to take it also easy and not work. That's like option 1. But if you still want to be productive, there's so many things that you can do. There's no reason why there's nothing for you to do in your business and you're just, bored or just confused. And as I mentioned before, like at the core of this business, we're very, very simple. We're the middleman that connects candidates and clients. If you have too many open roles, you can always reach out to more candidates. If you have too many candidates, you can always reach out to more clients. There's like always something to do. If you are good on both fronts, like are there anything that maybe admin or just general business or corporate related that you want to do for a long time, but you just never had the bandwidth because you're just always grinding and hustling every single day and you're just kind of tired in the evenings. Maybe it's like redesigning your website. Maybe it's improving like your agreement. Maybe it's looking up ways to, find other sources of income, or maybe finding different softwares or ATS systems. Like my point is there's always something that you can do if you look and think hard enough. And while most of your time should be allocated to activities that are really pushing your business forward, generating income. So really whatever you have to do more deals, do more job placements, whether it's finding more candidates or clients or pushing or making sure like the candidates that are in process continue to have a really strong relationship and with the hiring managers, they're engaged, they have a really good experience, and you're doing whatever you can to get them through each round. Basically, we have to do a little bit of everything to make sure everything happens. But you can always analyze your business from an eagle eye view, top down. Are things slow? Why are they slow? How can I make it fast? If things are moving well, what are other things that maybe I've always been thinking about in the back of my mind, whether it's marketing related, maybe it's design related, you want to improve your website like I talked about, utilize new tools, utilize new or learn new platforms to find candidates, or just to kind of be able to just think and generate new creative out-of-the-box solutions for X, Y, and Z. So in my opinion, there's no reason why anyone wouldn't have anything to do, even in a small market. And if it's as simple as, even if you have no admin or corp biz, even in a slow market, if it's as simple as keep doing what you've been doing, even in a hot week, that alone, like I always like to talk about, will give you the edge over other people who are just slowing down or just not working at all, right? So the whole takeaway here is that, just be productive, be consistent, push yourself, try to always find ways to improve your business. And just as we focus so much of our energy to provide values to everyone that we work with, from hiring managers to candidates to different companies, how else can you provide and improve value for yourself and for your business, right? Whether it's training, whether it's improving maybe like your employees, if you have any, maybe it's like thinking about a hiring plan or comp plan, or maybe it's just how can I find and target new companies to reach out to, and are there different or better ways that I can do that so that I can improve my response rate so that I can kind of pick up clients a lot easier. And I think right now in this market, so many companies are struggling to hire, whether you're enterprise, established, or small, everyone's going through the hard experience of going after the same talent. So it's definitely a great place to be if you're a really good talent in this market. My heart still goes out to them because they're probably getting hit up all the time. But if you're like a recruiter, internal recruiter, or you're a company, you're a founder who needs to scale, it's a tough market. So you need to think of all different ways for you to be able to grow and scale, and look into all the tools, including third-party agencies like us, to help out with their ambitious hiring goals. So I think it's no better time to be a recruiter. It's no easier time to pick up clients. My biggest advice there is just make sure that your outreach, you're really making an effort to personalize really, really well whoever you're reaching out to. You're making that narrative clear in terms of the value that you can provide, what you're specialized in, how that can meet the needs of the company, and then just be thoughtful and look at their shoes and ask yourself, if you were to to get the same email or in-mail or phone call, like would you want to pick up and respond to it too? And then, once you were able to kind of figure that out, like, are you just being persistent and follow up? Sometimes you reach out to people and it's not a good time, but maybe they might have more time later that day, maybe the next day, maybe every other day. So just be persistent, be follow up, but make sure, most importantly, before you do any of that, that you have your outreach, your template, your script, your messaging down clear, because if that is way off, it doesn't matter how many times you're going to follow up with anybody, they're just not going to respond to you. So it's all about value, be empathetic, and try to see yourself in whoever you're reaching out to's shoes. And if your answer is yes, to the question, will I also reach out or respond to this email or to this phone call if I got it myself, then I think you're doing a great job. So all in all, like, I think despite everything, despite being a slow week, like, I've still made a lot of effort to optimizing, to training, to looking at different ways that we can grow as a business, how we can do things better, how we can reach out to more clients, how we can reach out to more candidates, utilizing different tools, analyzing different platforms. Like, there's always things that you can do. And of course, a lot of that I don't really show on the camera. So if you want me to talk more about this, let me know. I'm more than happy to. But the purpose of these videos is to just kind of, go through my week with you and kind of take you on the journey of all the fun, like, blocks and situations and challenging calls, or all these like complex environments that I have to do. And a lot of times we win, a lot of times we lose, but that's the part of the great thing about being a recruiter, and just trying to be as transparent with you as much as possible. Like, it's, the wins can be great, they can be fulfilling, the losses can be horrible, painful, and a punch to the stomach, but you just gotta keep going on. So be consistent, be productive. Got 7 more hours to this day and to this week. I'm just happy we have one offer in the bag, and just, always think of ways to do things better or to improve value to others and to yourself. All right, so just got off the phone with a software engineering candidate who is going to meet with a hiring manager on Monday for lunch to go over negotiations. So she called me, asked me for some tips. I was able to share with her my thoughts, and she's going into it feeling a lot more positive and confident. So let's talk about negotiations. I think first off, you should not think that negotiations should be super scary and formal where everyone has to be really serious. When you're working at a negotiation, or when you're entering a negotiation process, you have to know that, first of all, as a candidate or job seeker, you're in a very good situation. Like, that already means you went through all the hard work of the whole interview process. You're most likely have heard that the company extended an offer to you, and they just want to be able to now have a discussion. That's all it is, an honest, casual discussion with you. They want to know what your needs are, and then they want to do whatever they can to find a middle ground that works best for everyone. That's all it is. I think if you're watching movies or hearing about all these articles and business, like, negotiations can sound quite tense. And I think with a lot of companies they are, but most of the time negotiations should be positive and casual, even fun. You should be smiling, you should be having a good time, and not be like super serious, right? So when it comes to negotiations, I have a couple advice. I think number one, you definitely want to do your research. So whatever you ask for, you want to back it up. So if you're initially looking for a 150 and offer came out for 160 and you want to negotiate, you don't want to just be like, hey, thank you for the offer, I want 200, period. Like, that's just, it sounds ridiculous and it sounds too aggressive. But if you're like, hey, I have re-examined and reassessed my ask for salary based on additional research that I've been finding, based on other offers that I've been getting and what their range is, and based on X, Y, and Z, like, that makes the other person a lot more understanding to what you want. And they'll be a lot more open-minded to give you what you want. So make sure you back it up. And number two, I think the most important thing is you want to try to picture yourself in whoever you're talking to's shoes. You're talking to another human being. And again, as I mentioned before, if you're negotiating, it should be a very positive conversation. Like, the company already expressed to you that they want you, the whole team loves you, and an offer probably already came out with some initial terms, and you're just there to kind of see if there's any wiggle room. So it should be a very positive experience all around. And if it's not, if the company is too aggressive for any reasons, it's probably not the best practice. So I think both people should be walking away from negotiations positively. But going back to my second point, it's very easy to go into negotiations only thinking about yourself and that you're talking to a wall or a robot. But if you put yourself in their shoes and be like, hey, if I was them talking to myself, what are some of the things that I would say to want to make me more open-minded, to give me more incentive, to stretch, to remodify the terms so that I can maximize the chance of this candidate accepting? So whatever you're asking for, obviously back it up first, but then you always want to be like, what would help? And so typically in negotiations, if you were to ask for anything, I think a company, first off, is always willing to negotiate, but they're gonna always be willing to negotiate even more if they honestly believe and genuinely believe that it's going to help you as the candidate make the decision to accept. If you can be as clear as possible, like if you're able to hit 170, I'm willing to shut everything down and accept. I think that's the best case scenario. A lot of times it's not as clear and easy as that because you have other offers coming in, there's a lot of emotions at play, but you wanna get to that as close as possible, especially if you feel like you're asking for a lot more or significantly more than your original ask. So always put yourself in their shoes and always give them kind of a carrot that they can kind of fight for. And if they feel like, you're just not asking them to raise their offer so you can leverage that to raise another offer and then you accept another offer and you leave them like that, they're not going to be happy with that. But if they feel like that you're being genuine and authentic and that whatever your ask is that they believe at that time to be genuine, that if they can stretch and hit X, Y, and Z for you, that it's going to maximize your chance of accepting, then they would certainly be a lot more willing to give it a shot. And the third and last advice is be transparent, be authentic, put your cards at the table, be honest. If you have other offers, share it with them. If you have any outstanding questions, share it with them. If you have any concerns about their remote or 401k, like anything that's bothering you, that's lingering in the back of your head, you want to talk it over. I'm hoping that by the time that you reach negotiations, a lot of the small hanging fruits have already been resolved. But like if for any reason you got to the negotiations and after you talked about your ask and what you want, you still have couple things that are lingering and outstanding, make sure you go over that so that you can walk away not having to be distracted by these other things, focused on your objective at hand, which is to try to get a higher salary, maybe a sign-on bonus. And then once you do that, then you can focus on, should I accept? Again, negotiations are not scary, or they should not be scary. They should be fun, casual, can be done outside of the office for drinks, or not for drinks, maybe for food, for coffee. Be transparent, back it up, and then see yourselves in their situation. And then if you can just be genuine and authentic the whole time, I think that it could be a win-win for everybody. And you can walk away happy getting what you think would be kind of a fair package for you to accept. And then they can walk away happy that they had a wonderful conversation with you again. And then, they were able to stretch a little bit. That still works for them and their internal levels, but then they feel a lot better in you accepting. So it's a win-win for everybody. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna resync up with my candidate on Monday, right after her lunch. Hope it goes well. I think when I first spoke with her, she was looking for like 140 to 150. Now she at least wants 150 based on the other offers. And maybe she's gonna ask for something a little bit higher because from her research, she sees that someone with her equivalent years of experience is asking for like anything from like 150 to 200. So she doesn't want to go and ask for something absurd because she's still kind of junior mid engineer and not like super senior. But she also wants to be fair and just wants to make sure that she's starting herself off on the right foot and not intentionally lowballing herself or underselling herself, which is something you definitely don't want to do. So had a great chat with her. Still a couple more calls to do, and it's been a good Friday so far. All right, it's Friday late afternoon right now. I just want to thank you again for spending time out of your day to watch and just follow me along for the week. And I hope to show that even though that you may have a slow week, a slow month, or a slow day, you can still be productive. All it takes is just analyzing your business, analyze what you have to do every single week, and just break it down into small parts and then push whatever levers that will help your business in a certain aspect. So in recruiting, whether it's the candidate side or client side or anything admin or marketing related, there's always something that you can do aside from just reaching out to candidates, aside from just reaching out to clients. But happy to say that despite it all, we were still able to end the week with an offer, which is absolutely fantastic. She initially wanted anything between 90 to 100. She got the first offer at 90 with a 5K sign-on, and after negotiations, they upped her offer to $95,000 plus a 5K sign-on, bringing her all in cash to $100,000. And I can be even more excited to see her absolutely crush her job. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, and you're as excited as I am to really make this quarter supporter, awesome. Please continue to like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot. If you're a recruiting professional and you're a master or a really awesome track record in your own market, we have so many open positions that we would love to have help with. Or if you're a recruiting professional and you have a hard to fill role, please reach out to me. Either way, we're always open to partnering and collaborating with other amazing recruiting professionals around the world. We all do the same thing, and my inspiration and what gets me excited is to help more people do whatever we can to kind of make that happen. So whether it's connecting people in my network or collaborating with you on your clients or candidates, reach out to me and let's get to work and do whatever we can to kind of make this incoming rest of the month and next month awesome. Also, if you have any other questions and you want to see other aspects of recruiting, please let me know. I read every single comment. I do my best to get back to you as much as possible. And as you know, I'm all about just transparently showing what we do as recruiters behind the scenes. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there is so much of us around the world working in every single industry imaginable. And I just hope that, I can share a little enjoyment and entertainment and hopefully maybe a little education in case you're already currently a recruiter or you're thinking about pivoting your career or maybe even getting into recruiting yourself. I think recruiting compared to many industries and many career choices is amazing. It's an awesome career, an awesome job to have. Not only will you be able to network with some of the brightest minds in your industry, but you can also have a very fulfilling long-term career as well. And I can't speak for all industries, but I do know that for tech specifically, we are just going through a ridiculous competitive market where companies need help. So this is the best time more than ever to get in the game and to work with us and to see how we can help companies and candidates alike finding their rock star talent or even finding their dream job. But we got a lot of exciting things coming up, a lot of different types of content. Hope you guys like it. If you do, please comment down, and or if you have any other ideas that you want us to kind of touch on next in future videos, please let me know. But it really means a lot, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I never come off as the best recruiter. I know that I personally have so many better ways to improve and so much more to just better myself as a professional, and I'm always learning day in and day out. But I hope that this can help you. I hope that this can motivate you. I hope that this can inspire you. Or I hope that it can just get you excited about just recruiting. I think recruiting is awesome, and I think recruiting is a fantastic choice if you choose it to be your career, your professional home. So thanks again. I hope you had a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. I expect a lot of things to happen, a lot of momentum to start picking up, but happy to say even despite a down week, we were still able to make a deal happen. Ecstatic about that. Now gonna enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time.